Boot up a modern Pokémon game, wander into the early grassy routes, and you'll likely stumble across Oddish, a small, cheerful weed with a radish body. But underneath that friendly exterior lies a darker origin. When designer Atsuko Nishida first sketched this creature, she drew inspiration from medieval folklore. She based Oddish on the Mandrake. In this 15th century botanical text, the Mandrake's roots resemble a human figure. Superstition claimed uprooting it caused a lethal scream, so foragers tied a dog to the stem to pull the plant free. That gruesome legend directly informs Oddish's behavior. Its official Pokédex entries state that it buries itself in the dirt by day, and if you try to yank it out of the ground, it shrieks horribly. By grounding the design in this ancient botanical myth, Game Freak elevated a generic monster into a creature defined by a specific historical superstition. This focus on biology carries over into how Oddish functions in battle. This diagram breaks down its core elemental structure, showing its dual typing as a grass and poison Pokémon. That combination allows it to act as a defensive pivot in competitive play. This is a specialized role where a Pokémon absorbs an incoming attack, slows the opponent's momentum, and sets up an advantage for its team to switch in safely. To pull this off, Oddish relies on a parasitic moveset. Its primary tool is Strength Sap, an ability that siphons away an opponent's physical attack power and converts it into healing for the user. If an enemy is still pressing the attack, Oddish can deploy Sleep Powder, a status affliction that completely incapacitates the threat. And to finish the job, it uses Giga Drain, an attack that directly leeches health from the target to restore its own. These survival tactics grow more potent when Oddish reaches level 21 and matures into Gloom, a phase that weaponizes an incredibly noxious defensive scent to keep predators away. This entire moveset mirrors the behavior of a resilient parasitic weed, engineered to choke out competing flora in a hostile ecosystem. Once Gloom reaches maturity, its ecosystem forces an ecological choice through a mechanic called branching evolution. Its final form depends on which environmental stimulus it encounters. Looking at this flowchart, we can follow the first path. If Gloom is exposed to a leaf stone, it evolves into Vileplume. Vileplume leans into its toxic biology. It retains the poison typing and utilizes its massive flower to operate as a heavy, status-inflicting tank that wears opponents down over time. But if we follow the opposite path on our chart, we see what happens when Gloom is exposed to a sunstone. It evolves into Blossom. Blossom purifies itself. It drops the poison typing entirely to become pure grass, relying on its chlorophyll ability to double its speed whenever it fights in direct sunlight. This branching mechanic simulates a biological trade-off, an organism choosing between a heavy, toxic defense mechanism or prioritizing pure photosynthetic speed. Oddish has maintained a continuous presence in the franchise for over 25 years, dating back to the 1996 release of Pokémon Red and Green on the original Game Boy. Even as the total number of Pokémon has expanded past 1,000, causing many creatures to be cut from recent games, Oddish has remained, appearing as a catchable species in modern expansions like the Indigo Disc. Beyond the video games, it has a footprint in the anime, and as we can see here, it has been featured in over 45 distinct expansions of the trading card game. The Weed Pokémon has endured because its design works across multiple layers. By building a character where real-world mythology and biological mechanics are inseparable, Game Freak created a creature that remains functional and recognizable nearly 30 years after its debut.